G'day, punters. Welcome to another edition of the Vic Preview Show. We have a new face today. Unfortunately, young man Lindsay won't be joining us, but we do have Shane, as always, and Jackson. Welcome, gents. How are we? We'll start with you, Jacko.
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Happy to be on. Hopefully you can provide a couple of winners for the show.
No, good to have you here. You've got sort of big shoes to fill. Lindsay's been finding winners, and Shane's now famous Mr. Whippy betting segment that when he first rolled it out 4 weeks ago, Lindsay and I were pissing ourselves. But it's 4 from 4, and so tune in, punters, at the end of the show. Shane's Mr. Whippy betting ice cream scoop segment will be back. Shane, how are you? How's your week been, mate?
Fat. Kicked off with a bet on a $34 chance at Warwick over 800 metres that led, and she's last 50 metres or so sort of stopped riding it, sort of sat up to raise the whip and didn't realise there was 2 horses on the outside fence.
They were about 30 metres in front of it. They were about 20 metres away from her on the outside fence, weren't they? It was real viewing.
It was probably a little bit of an exaggeration that she stopped and raised the whip, but honestly. And then yesterday was just a complete and utter clinic from myself, but mainly Rob Scurry and Jacko. Jacko is coming off one of the biggest months I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Like 2 years at the Mailbag. It's winning at like 70-something%, wasn't it, Jacko, for the month of July?
Yeah, around there.
Sorry. Yeah, maybe 80.
You know, who really cares whether it's 60 or 80?
When we're up in those numbers, give or take 10%, doesn't really matter, does it?
I feel like that we've steeled ourselves as a betting group. We are the last of the Mohicans, the 4 of us. You know, me, Jacko, Pistol, and Rob. We're the true survivors.
Yeah.
And we've made a pact that we're just going to continue to dominate regardless. So.
And it was a fat day yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, I think Jacko with a weather-affected sort of Geelong meeting still eked out 5 units. Another, was it 12 from yourself, Shane? And
I told subscribers I'm going to bet in 1 or 2 races at Eagle Farm. I hate the meeting. I've ended up winning at 200%.
And Rob, absolutely.
And Rob was just off its head.
First 4 races.
And how good is it? And how good are we? Not we, but as a business with our transparency of our results. When Scurry tipped that horse in the first out of the yard, it was $30 everywhere.
Yep.
He's recorded it at Betfair SP, which was $17.
$17. So, and a few punters would have backed at Betfair SP, but anyone else who took the 31s, 26 fixed late with all the corporates, those 17 units, Shane obviously one of them, those 17 units sort of turns into 22, 23. So, yeah, massive day from all 3. Pistol just sat on the sidelines with another wet card over there, and now he's got 12 races to bet into on Saturday. So good luck, Pete. So as always, guys, today will be brought to you by puntingform.com.au. All the boys use that in the background. So if you're not using puntingform.com.au, you're not doing the right thing. First segment, as always, Mailbag Bloodstock. And I think I said it last week, but thanks everyone for putting your hands in your pockets. Pretty much all of us, we've got a couple of horses to sell. One of those is the Autumn Sun by Travesia filly on the screen there with Annabelle Neesham. So I think last week we had 20% left, and this week we got 10. So after the show, a few people did come on board. So only 10% left in that with very well-bred filly who probably only needs to win 1 or 2 races to keep some residual value there as a brood mare. And also, so we've obviously finished the racing season. It was only a short one for our new venture in Bloodstock, and finished the season with it 75% winners to runners strike rate. So 3 of our 4 runners saluted first past the post. So big season coming up. We've actually got our first Saturday runner this weekend, don't we, lads? Field of Roses with Gavin Bedgegood. We'll be running in race 3, I think it is, at Flemington. So good luck to all our owners. Jack wanted me to show something. We're obviously Up and about as syndicators, Field of Roses a couple of Sundays ago. We are now benchmark 64 syndicators. So if you would like your T-shirt, get through to Jono at themailbag.com.au. It might not last for long. In 2 days' time, when he wins, we could be benchmark 70 syndicators. So onwards and upwards for the mailbag business. As always, Jono at themailbag.com.au. If you have any questions about any of the horses or if you want to chat anything breeding, get on to Jono. We'll get into the races, guys. We've got Flemington this week, and I believe we're going to preview 3 races. Jacko is going to kick us off, and he's going to start with Flemington Race 1, I believe it is. Jacko, take us away, mate.
Yep, and we're going with Lindsay's love child, his favourite horse, Berkeley Square, won on debut at Geelong, and then he was tipping it hard at Caulfield a fortnight ago, and Alana just ran up arses for the majority of the straight. Flashed home, ran second behind Boogie Dancer, ran the fastest last 100 of the meeting, the 5th fastest last 200. Alana goes off, Craig Williams on. The map looks a little bit tricky. Yeah, on screen here is the replay of Alana just running up and like, oh, where am I going? Where am I going? Gets out, flashes home. Hopefully Craig's off the fence a little bit more positive. And I think it should be winning at $2.50. It looks very hard to beat. The only knock is staying at 1,400 metres. I think if this was a mile, it'd be a chips in $1.75 sort of job. Staying at 1,400 is the only query, but getting to a bigger track away from Caulfield to Flemington, I think will suit. And the 2 other horses that are hard in the market in Pelagio is coming off a Ballarat Poly win. And although impressive and the numbers were decent enough, that sort of Poly track to Metro form is I'm happy to risk those sort of horses. And the other one is Proscenium Arch, who won on a heavy track on debut at Sandown, got all favours. And I'm happy to risk it as well at the price. And I thought Berkeley Square would be very, very hard to beat and should be closer to even money.
Yeah, nice. I think sorry, Shane, you go.
Sorry. Are you thinking that Pelagio leads and Proscenium Arch OSL?
OSL, yeah. Looks a pretty straightforward map. I'd be surprised if they don't settle like that.
Yeah.
And then Berkeley Square is probably 2 pairs back, hopefully one off, although that might be slightly optimistic mapping.
Yeah. And we spoke about it last time with Lindsay that obviously, Lana Kelly sort of slaughtered it and it definitely should have won, and he was very keen on it. But I believe that Craig Williams has put his hand up to stick with Berkeley for the rest of the spring. So a few jockeys, they were after. Couldn't commit for the spring. Yep. But Willow's obviously said that, he wants that ride. So, I think Guineas and Derbies, they're talking. So hopefully on Saturday, I know you have sent the bet out already for subscribers and we've taken the price.
Yeah.
So just a straight out win bet there on Berkeley Square, Jackson.
Yeah, we've taken 250. It's hard to imagine for me that it starts any longer than that. I'd imagine it sort of starts 210, 220. I'd be surprised if it got out in the market, that's for sure.
And like we see with these, it's not really a spruik horse, but, the ones that flash home last start and you get on all the .com shows and they start showing replays and every second Twitter tipster finds it. I'd be very shocked if it did. I think it probably starts shorter than the $2 actually on the day. So there's our bet for Flemington Race 1. And we move on to the 2,000-metre race, Flemington Race 4.
Yep, a big field here. And the horse I want to take a look at is the Kieran Maher David Eustace trained Blue Cup, who first up at Caulfield, first up in Australia as we're watching. It was back a long way and came home in some of the fastest closing splits of the race. Was really, really good. Ran a minus 10.9 overall. And then at Flemington last start was on speed wide into that headwind down the back where you kind of really couldn't be. It was sort of up to 2,000 first time and just peak late. I'm happy enough to give that run, crossover noseband on J Carr. I thought it maps really well in a big field. It probably 3 pairs back, 1 off, I thought. And 440, I think it was last look, 420, 440. I thought that was a good enough price in a pretty weak race like that. Maximum Prime form, I don't think is much good. Coulth doesn't win. The Awesome Sun's the other one in the market who has ability, but it's going to be last the fence from barrier 2. So I thought this was a pretty easy bet to have.
And we took the 460 a little bit earlier, didn't we? So, obviously that runs a big figure, first run in Australia. And so no worries at all, sort of second up. I mean, it was a better race over 2,000 metres, wasn't it? So we just don't worry about that. It was into the wind, 3 wide. Yeah,
and has the platform now at 2,000, like with that run, will be rock hard, fit and ready to go. I think J Car on plenty of positives.
It was a indecisive ride last start too, yeah. Jackson. He didn't know whether to go forward 3 deep or sit. He just in a rhythm. He was just, it was just a complete forgive.
Probably sure. Like half like he was going to be sort of midfield and just blending, and then he kind of pushed it up to go forward, and then there wasn't a spot OSL, and it was just kind of what to do sort of thing.
And they rounded the bend and sort of left him a bit flat-footed, but he didn't drop out of it like some horses can by doing that. He sort of battled onto the line and just held his spot there. So Another pretty confident bet there. The subscribers did take 460 this morning. So by the time you're reading this, I think it's already into $4. Could be in a bit further, but another pretty confident win bet there from Jackson, Flemington Race 4. And Shane's working through the 50 meetings in Queensland for Saturday and hasn't quite nailed down anything just yet. So what he's going to do today is actually preview the Ori Star Race 5 at Flemington for us.
Okay.
Yeah, good on me for doing that too. Well, there's a little bit of Queensland flavour in this one. So, excuse me, we saw Scalapini measure up in the Sir John Monash. And I think maybe one of the interns at the Mailbag done a pretty good in-depth preview of that race and review. Said it was a below average sort of below standard from history, what history suggested. And this one could be in the same boat. Queensland's represented by Shooting for Gold here. And obviously you can tie some form between it and Scalapini. And then, Scalapini, King of Sparta, wasn't much between it. The GOAT lost his encouragement stick on Scalapini late v King of Sparta there the other day. I'm not sure that it would have made a difference, but there wasn't a lot between them anyway. And I think Shooting for Gold at 1,200 is probably a better winning chance than what Scalapini was last time out. So I'm sort of just focusing on those couple of runners and those form lines. Obviously, Jamie Carr goes on Scalapini now. The query and the questions I've probably got for Jackson here is around Stageman, which I probably should have let on piss a little bit before the show.
Would have been nice, but anyway, we move on.
How do we sort of handle a horse like Stageman? Do we just sort of let the market tell us how it's going to go, or what do we do here? It's sort of, I've found it a little bit difficult to line it up first up for the new stable.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, what price would Elite Street be in this race?
Probably favourite, would it? I don't know.
Probably favourite, and it's run a length and a half, a length off Elite Street, sort of first 2 runs, last prep off a longer spell. I know it's a different trainer change now, and obviously up the straight for the first time, but resumed over 1,000 last prep, and we're here over 1,200. So would that signal some intent? Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. Like, if you go through the field from top to bottom, obviously a small field. Like, Just Folk, you'd obviously anticipate, like whatever it does first up here will be improved. Will be a big improver.
Yeah,
I can't see it firming in the market. It's going to be sort of along the fence there, sort of somewhere tucked away. Not that it'll matter, obviously, on the straight track, but you'd think that sort of something like Serious Suspect will probably lead. You know that he goes good.
He'll
down
lead.
the straight. It'll lead. It's the only leader probably. It handles the straight run. It's got to be, it's got to be a leading hope. Then you've got King of Sparta, will sort of coming out of that weak rated sort of race last start. Stageman, obviously, we just sort of discussed it's got to be a chance. King of Sparta, like, are we happy to risk it? I know that the benchmark 64 syndicator himself made it his win and place lay last start.
That was particularly odd, I thought.
We discussed. Is this this is the win? This is King of Sparta. So there's Scalapini in the proven thoroughbred colours, the black with the green cap, and you've got King of Sparta in the China Horse Club colours.
King of Sparta's kind of got all favours here as well. The way the race panned out, like everything, it was off fence day. Everything went outside, and he just kind of poked through the middle there.
Yeah.
Is he too short? I mean, like, you know, just looking at the market there, I don't know, the 240, 235 sort of just seems a little bit short to my eye.
If a Stageman is anywhere near here to go out of the yard, I think he'll be the one for me. I think he looks the overs compared to a horse like King of Sparta.
And he does have good first up record, Stageman. He's got good soft track record for a Perth horse, which is pretty rare to see as well. But that's just something there, punters, is sign up to Jacko's package. He's been airborne. Was it close to 60 units last month, Jacko?
Yeah, pretty much bang on 60.
Pretty much bang on 60. Been seeing him well. And like we've said the last couple of weeks on the show, seeing some of these horses first up, it's just that last little piece of information that you need. And like Jackson just said, if it's on song from the yard at that $657, he's not going to be able to leave it alone. So if you're a first-time user of his product, Jacko 50, you'll get 50% off. But I know anyone who's signed up over the last month, they'll definitely be going again and getting the set on Saturday.
I think I've buggerised around here a little bit, but this is going to be serious suspect leading at whatever tempo he wants to go at. So being a straight run 1,200 metre race at Flemington, it's not going to be quick.
No.
I think shooting for goal, I think Stageman with the gear changes says I don't want to be on it with the winkers off.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, are we going to leave that in the tank for, next time?
Yep.
To sharpen him up a little bit. I think the tongue tie or the crossover noseband is off and the winkers are off. So does that sort of says to me, I want to hear Jackson's report from the yard because we might just leave that gear off him to sharpen him up after this run.
Yeah.
So that says to me, turn of foot horses here. I've got Shooting for Gold will close quicker than King of Sparta. Shooting for Gold has got a serious last 600 in him. And if they go slow, like I anticipate, he's going to settle as close as he's ever had in a 1,200 metre race for a long time. And he can be exposed at the right time. And I think Serious Suspect will lead, kick, and then Shooting for Gold, the closer. And I think them two will fight it out. But I'll half sort of parochial maybe, but I'm not a Queenslander by birth. So I just like this horse, Shooting for Gold. I like it. I like it in this setup on a slowly run 1,200 where it tucks in behind him. He's able to track right up close to them before he lets it rip at the clock tower.
And he's coming from a camp that's going very, very well. And I think you spoke about it a few weeks ago, Shane, didn't you? He's got a few good ones that he's sending down to Melbourne for the spring.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, like I said, he's sort of been, he's been contesting proper, like running against some decent horses. These, through that Brisbane Winter Carnival, and have been a bit stiff on a couple of occasions or beaten a length or so, versus horses that would be, extremely hard in the market here at their best. So I'm not saying it's like it's got under the guard or anything. Like it is $4. Like it's not as if it's massive overs, but I just expect it to be. I expect it to be the one charging over the top of Serious Suspect late. And we've discussed horses like Serious Suspect on this show the last month ad nauseum. They're really good open handicap, not quite, Group 3 horses, and getting a Group 3, early in the spring is sort of, this is its level, a horse like Serious Suspect,
It'll be able to play in a week or two's time.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, Shooting for Gold to just get over the top of Serious Suspect, and King Zara might lift King of Sparta in the third maybe, but the key to this race will be Jackson's report on Stageman. It's just the gear. The gear changes to me suggest maybe there's a bit up the sleeve.
Makes sense.
So, Shane, you've heard it here, punters. Shane's going to have a bet on shooting for gold. And then if you haven't signed up to themailbag.com.au, make sure you do it to Jackson's product and get not just this race, but that last key piece of information 5-6 minutes out from every race there at Flemington on Saturday. Before we crack into the famous Mr. Wibby segment, Jackson, we'll just recap your couple of bets. How are we playing it in Flemington Race 1?
Yeah, Race 1, number 4, Berkeley Squared, just have as much on as you want at 250. And then Race 4, number 2, Blue Cup. A Blue Cup, have as much as you want on at 440. And if they lose, 1-800-858-858.
Bet until it hurts responsibly there from Jackson. And now for the 5th week, coming off 4 collects out of 4 weeks on this crazy new segment, we have Mr. Whippy himself, Shane.
I'm just waiting to see if there's a ridiculous photo of me this week anyway. So I can't exactly remember. I wrote it down. I don't remember where I wrote it, but geez, I went close to a 6 scoopy last week.
Yeah, I think it was just
the same race multis, the Quinellas, the Exactas, all them lobbed.
They all lobbed. It was only your bet of the day there up there in Brisbane, Delight, that let us down for the lick of all the ice cream we would have got. But the same race multi and just the real flair all collected. It was just the $2.30 shop up there in Brisbane that let us down.
It started at $1.70. Anyway, we've moved on from that. I fought with everyone on Twitter Monday and Tuesday about the winner, and I feel better now. So let's kick off the proceedings here with Doomben Race 1 at number 1. It's Spiritualised. We'll lead and win. For those that follow my product, we were on this last start. It was a length in front with 10 metres to go. And somehow Honeypot, who traded 1,000 to 1 in the run, somehow stuck its giraffe neck out and got us right on the line. That was 1,200 Eagle Farm, 1,200 Doomben, a lot more suited. He'll just find the fence and rip around that corner and put 3 on him, and maybe Alert State might run into second, or Hang 5 will get back and run into second. But I think he'll lead and win race 1, number 1, Spiritualised. Now, I didn't even really concern myself too much with the prices here because it's only $1.55. But like, all it does is, as they say in the pub on a Saturday afternoon with 6 schooners, we'll just fatten up the price on the next one with a $1.55 favourite. It'll win. First leg. Second leg, we'll go to Doomben Race 7, number 15, Manhood. Comes into gate 9 after some scratchings here, so Sammy Collett will just be able to just nurse him across to either lead or OSL, and he'll handle these. He's $1.75. So there's the 2 anchors at Doomben, both winners. Now, clearly, we're going to take those 2 with Flemington Race 1, number 4, Berkeley Square. It just wins as well. I think the 2, Linda will lead the fence. Froggy will sit OSL, and Froggy will put the stick in the left hand and make sure it's a truly run race here, from the corner. And then Craig, Humanitarian Williams, will just stalk them and put them away late. There's only 250, but again, like those 3, is just complete morals. So that's the triple scoop. Depends if you want to add a little bit of topping here. Like, I like sprinkles. They're rainbow coloured, they're woke, they're tasty, they're good on ice cream. I've had a lot of people get up me about this, because I supported the Manly jersey, and it's amazing the vitriol on Twitter when you get told you're a tipster, shouldn't be commenting on social issues. Sorry, but let's jam it into shooting for gold as the. Can you go win and place or not really? Is that a little bit soft?
Yeah,
it's only 7 in it.
Yeah.
All right, let's just. So they're the 3 main ones, but we're gonna go for the little bit of sprinkle on top with shooting for gold.
So we're gonna have 2 multis. We're gonna multi the 3 morals of the day. Shane's couple there at Doomben into Jackson's a bet of the day, Berkeley Square. And then just for the sprinkles and hot fudge and whatever else you want on top, the same multi into shooting for gold to win as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So a bit of flair there, but not a massive amount, but enough. There's 3 winners there, and that'll do.
All we need. That's all we need. All righty, gents. Really appreciate it. As always, guys, head to themailbag.com.au for all your accountable betting advice for this weekend. The guys have been airborne. Look, if you don't like cash, then don't sign up. But if you do, get on board because all of them are in some ridiculous form at the moment. Thanks for joining us, lads. Anything to take us away, Jackson? It was good to see you. Good to have you on the show, mate.
Thanks for having me. No, I don't have a lot for you. Sorry.
No worries. And Shane,
I've got one thing for you. I've got one thing for you. If you're watching the races tomorrow at Ipswich, if you're watching this show today, which is Thursday,
yes,
and you're watching the races at Ipswich, I should have found this before I opened my mouth. I've got something for you. You could do if you're bored on Friday. In the 800 metre race at Ipswich, it's in race 2. There's a horse called Sequisay, number 5. Just take the SP and put a lay bid in before the jump because it'll lead. I had to scrape it off the track last start at Doomben when it led over 1,050 and went out in about minus 50 to the 600. It'll lead. Whether it wins or not, I don't know, but it'll be in it for a long way over the 800. So you could probably just take the price and then put a lay bid in run back and hope the in-play punters fall for it.
In-play expert curls.
Follow me at Twitter, at Toowoomba Tips.
I'll give one out quickly. Ballarat Race 2, number 13, Far Too Tempting, is $3.30. It will not run a place.
Jeez, we've
can you say that again? Can you say that again, sorry?
Ballarat Poly, race 2, number 13, Far Too Tempting. You can lay it, win and place.
Oh, geez, this is what we're here for. We've flared right up to end the show. Shane with an SP and then lay a front runner that's going to crawl up in a hole. And that's tomorrow, Jackson, Ballarat?
Yeah.
Laying the win in place early on, Ballarat race 2, number 13 at $3.30. That's what we like to hear. So if you're watching that on Thursday, you've got to fire up your Betfair accounts, punters, because the boys have found some juice for you tomorrow on a lazy Friday, waiting for Friday night footy and then the races to kick in. Fatten up your accounts with a couple of lay bets there at some Friday racing. All right, gents, appreciate it. Good luck over the weekend, punters, and we'll see you again next week.